Hello guys, it's Peter from PS Sound, and in this video we are going to walk around this brand new Mercedes Vito and show you what we've done in it for a beautiful customer from Belgium. As opposed to me walking around on my own, Eddie's gonna join me, and Nicola as well, the owner, because I'm sure people are bored of me, hearing me all the time. And you're always gone when I take the videos.
Yeah, they haven't heard my voice in a while.
Yeah, Eddie can show what he's done in this car with me. So some of you could follow the videos on Patreon. Many of you know, I have to mention it here as well, because many people don't know that we have a Patreon channel where we can upload a lot of content that we don't share on YouTube. You can see everything, all the step-by-step content where we describe what challenges we had and what solutions we found. Like this back wall. This back wall was fun with Eddie. We find that in these vents, these back walls are almost like they're not really functional as such. They're just visually creating a barrier for anything that you load in the back. But when it comes to building an audio system, that's one of the major sources for the noise coming into the front cabin too, because the back end has zero sound treatment. Like behind these panels, there's literally nothing. This is, and they rattle, it's just that, zero, nothing. So we took the whole wall out and we deadened it. How long did it take? It was,
I think in one day we took it out and
we did the back wall, the front cabin. Yeah, we did all the soundproofing the first day together. I think most of it.
Yeah, it wasn't all back in the car in the first day, but
yeah.
I think we left carpeting, making it pretty for the second day.
Yeah, because that wall is now that heavy. We have a layer of deadening, a thicker type of, which was it, the Vespa? Not the Vespa, Spider. But we will have pictures of it. I'm going to insert here, and then we have a layer of blocker on it as well. That's what many people make wrong. They think they put deadening on it and job done. It only makes the panel not to vibrate, but to block the noise going through. Deadening doesn't do much unless you start layering, and of course after a while it's just thick enough to block something. But yeah, that blocker does the trick, and then the carpet made it pretty. And then Nicola is here with us as well. Can you please explain why we have this crazy frame here?
Yeah, I haul dirt bikes around, so yeah, I needed that space for the front wheels. There's
because you use these chains to
they go around on the foot pegs, and then yeah, I go and ride dirt bikes in the forests.
That's fun. One day we may try it. No, I'm afraid of it. I would kill myself.
I will do it.
Yeah. Have you tried?
No, I haven't, but I will do it.
Have you been on a bike?
Not motorbike, just bike.
Yeah.
Eddie will get used to losing his rear end, so that's the same feeling. You get on the bike, so
Easy. So here the criteria was that we had to leave enough space in the middle where the front wheels can go in, right? Plus you have a fridge box on the other side.
yeah, correct.
You came here with a fridge box on the right, but we suggested that the sub box should be on this side because it's a left-hand driven car, and loading the sub from the opposite side is going to result in better low end in the cabin as opposed to having it behind the driver. So we located this sub here. What people cannot see now, I don't know if I can insert pictures, but there, that bottom section was actually open. So there was no separation between the cabin and the back other than the seat frames. And in the middle there was a frame that we took out. That's where the sub can breathe through. But we had to block it off because otherwise the sub was playing to the back as well. That's where we have these extra panels on the top and on the side to block it off. And we measured it. We shared an RT evaluation of it as well on Patreon, where we explain everything, what differences happen in the cabin, even to the mid base, and of course to the sub. Like, the difference is drastic once it's completely sealed off. Yeah, that's a big chunky box, a JL12W7 in a down firing alignment.
Only till about there, am I right?
Yeah, roughly around there. It's 45 liter, factory recommends 39. This is slightly larger. We used 18 and 25 mm birch ply, so it's rigid as hell. and we have plenty of power on it, but it doesn't seem to complain. We used a ground zero SPL type monoblock, but it doesn't do anything wrong. It doesn't have a high pass filter, it plays low enough, it has plenty of headroom. In theory, we have 2.5 kilowatt on paper in that monoblock to run this sub, but yeah, we didn't see the sub struggling. It definitely gets what it asks for, and it loads the cabin beautifully. Up front, we have a three-way system. That's why you can see something crazy, and that's gonna be Eddie's part. You enjoy doing that.
Well, not completely, not 100%, because you dealt with the mid base, but yeah, pillars and
I'm looking at the pillars. That's why I'm saying that you enjoyed that part.
lately, yeah, I think I was the one dealing with most of the pillars and mid-range installation
No,
in most of the cars.
you also seem to enjoy that part of the fabrication, so we can split it nicely. What we are more efficient with. So this alignment for the tweeter has a reason. We have to explain. We have done few builds with these AMTs on the pillars, like in the Suzuki, in the Porsche, you did those,
Yes.
where we could blend them in to the pillar. We also did a Vito last year, wasn't it? Last summer.
The V-Class.
Oh no, that wasn't a Vito, that was a V-Class, yeah.
Similar.
Very similar cars. And we find that these pillars, I have to jump in. So these pillars are not easy to work with for the reason that it has several parts. You have the main part that you have in most cars, then you have this piece attached to it, and you also have that section going down there. It's almost like a triangle with 3 different type of materials. So as soon as we try to do any modification to that part, and you have to retrim that, then you have to take everything apart and then assemble it again.
Which is not easy, because from factory it's all plastic welded. So you can break the plastic welds, but then to weld it back,
There's no guarantee that you can manage it.
yeah.
We did it once, it was an absolute pain.
Yeah.
And that's why we had to make a call to come up with a different solution to make a separate attachment, technically.
Yeah.
That's why Eddie did fiberglassing, taking a mold of the pillar and then building up that shape. That we are going to have a long fabrication video of.
Yes.
Maybe it's not going to be that long, but yeah.
And I think I'm gonna make it in one video for both mid-range and tutors.
Yeah.
Same video, because mid-range equally wasn't that complex of a job.
That was probably the most straightforward part in this project.
Yes. Still not easy, but I had challenges.
I have a feeling people could say that, Pete, can you make this and then ship it out? Because not impossible, although you have to pay attention to distancing from the pillar
Yes.
and distancing from the windscreen. That needs to be tested, because that mounting frame was printed. Eddie had a beautiful design that we also used in Steve's Vito. But making sure that everything clears, and then you have to modify the space underneath the dashboard as well. Yeah, these things may look like they are simple and straightforward.
But it wasn't, especially if you want
Yeah.
to do it properly.
Yeah. You want to make sure that everything fits, nothing buzzes, everything is isolated. So yeah, those little things where you cover the whole bottom section of that panel just to stop any vibrations. We didn't add deadening, and yes, that could raise a bit of concern, but the clips hold so well, so firm, that we have 0 buzzes. And we definitely tested the system on proper levels, and
You would
it's-
still, I think, okay, deadening. What does it actually do? You know, how much resonance can you take from that panel?
Yeah.
Not much. But by the time you add deadening, you add thickness, and then you still have to isolate it with a soft
yeah,
material.
then it wouldn't clip back.
It wouldn't clip back.
Well, that's the reason why we didn't
So-
add deadening. Yeah.
Yeah. Now all that gap is taken away. The gap between the 2 plastic layers, so this trim and the dash underneath,
Yeah.
is taken off by the carpet, which is a soft material.
Yep.
So it's, I don't know.
It's well isolated, yeah, but it doesn't buzz at all. So that's why maybe this was the most straightforward. If we have to work on a Vito in the future, we know that this solution works.
Yeah.
Those Steg MSS3s do everything that we always need from those drivers. They get plenty of loading. Eddie can take one of the grills up, and then we can show it. Here you go. That's where we have the 4-inch driver. Yes, we had to take the grill off because that speaker comes with an integrated grill. It's just glued on, so you can pull it up carefully with a pry it up, and that's what Eddie designed. Speaker grill that's clothed, and then it sits in. Nice and simple.
Nice and simple, and makes everything stealthy.
Yeah, nothing for the eyes, which is the opposite with the tweeter.
Yeah.
But Nicola mentioned that you had no problem with seeing the tweeter.
I like how they look, so
It's
there's something special, right?
It is. People will always question it. This is going to be a bit of a love and hate for some people, because I know some people absolutely don't like the look of them, but then at the same time, what matters most is what you hear, and that's where we struggle to find tweeters that have the transparency and the detail like these AMTs do. But I think this will come across in many videos while we use these, and now more and more people heard them, not just in UK but in America, and they can share their feedback on that for sure. So mid and tweet, that was pretty straightforward. It took time, but then the mid bass. Okay, so just so it's not only me hating on mid bass, Eddie.
What?
Do you like mid bass in the door?
Love it.
I love it.
Love it.
When was the last time you had mid bass in the door?
Scirocco.
So
But
now
even in that one,
I'm just trying to take the grill off. Okay.
even in that one, I had under-seat enclosures.
But you did doors first.
Yes. And Scirocco wasn't a bad car when it comes to doors.
Volkswagen doors are usually well sealed, but you had the disadvantage of having a 3-door car and the door at the front was super long, a lot of airspace.
They were playing low, but that's not what you want from the mid bass.
Yeah, that's what many people think it's impressive when a mid bass can play down to 30 Hz. It's moving your trouser, but it's just uncontrolled bass. What it does between 60-70 Hz up to 200, that's where everything is uncontrolled. It's not detailed. There's no tightness. There's no kick, and a lot of buzzes, even after a lot of soundproofing. That's where all of our cars, literally all of our cars, have mid bass in an alternatives application than door.
Yeah.
We don't have a single, literally.
The last
Our
one
cars.
competition car, if you want, was Tony's ST.
And
But that wasn't built for competition to begin with.
yeah, we discussed that we didn't have an option to do anything within the time and the budget. And that was the weak part of the system. Everything else was on a way better level. People say doors can work. Yes, they can work. It's one thing to get a 5-6 out of 10 when it comes to performance, when it comes to accuracy, realism, zero buzz and rattle, or you can get a mid-bass performance that, gets a good 8.
And also, we have to mention that, we don't play those systems to 90 dB.
Yes.
Because it can work very well
Yeah.
in those cases. But when you want to smash it, and you also want the system to
be controlled.
control the air.
Yeah, because we got that feedback from somebody. Somebody told me of that. Hey, Pete, it's somewhat a bit ironic that you keep talking about mid-bass in the door is shit, and you got to do something else. And then the car that won in Eddie's category in Salzburg in April had a mid-bass in the door.
But it had a front sub as well.
That helps for sure, but
And I listened that car, and
it showed the problem straight away for us.
well, no car is perfect. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I have to admit that it wasn't bad. But there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, and we want to go above it.
Yeah.
And the problem is that when people look at like EMA results, that result is based on the CD, and that CD doesn't highlight so many problems with the mid bass, especially when many people crave for the chest kick and the feel of kick bass. That's not tested in any way on an EMA competition because the systems play at like 80-85 dB. and at that point the speaker is not even seeing a single watt, so it's not generating pressure, it doesn't move the door that much, so you can get away with it. But as soon as you want to have a dynamic system, turn it up.
High levels, when things start to move, that's when,
Yeah, because okay, most people, audiophile people, listen to acoustical music, that's just fine. But then just because some people love electronic music, whether it's you know, trance, techno, R&B, hip hop, drum and bass, you know, everybody deserves a system that can be turned up. And it feels like that most of the systems that we build, people come to us because they know that we will build a system solid enough. And that's when now this mid bass comes into topic. So on Patreon we shared more daily updates of it, and we explained why we came up with this, because most of the van projects that we built are built within budget time frame, like the Volkswagen that we showed. And to be fair, the Volkswagen door is not terrible, the
it's
transporter.
not terrible after our treatment.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it is terrible.
that's beyond 12 hours of work
Yeah, it is terrible.
to start with.
Yeah.
But when it's done, it's not terrible.
It's I don't remember, because that video was actually shot in the summer,
June.
June. Yeah.
June.
But I don't remember, is it the inner skin, is it plastic or metal? I think it's plastic. Yeah, it's plastic.
We
And-
treated both sides. No,
Yes.
so
Yeah, it's plastic.
I'm gonna find a picture and drop it in just so guys can see the inner skin of that car. Although I know that we were lucky, because in these vans, if you have a sub playing through the back wall, technically it acts like a front sub, because it's only working in a short cabin, and you can play the sub high without having the problems like long cars have, above 60-70 hertz.
Yeah.
This alignment, even this sub is here, this can play up to 150 hertz clean without any problems. Even if it's a JLW7, people would say that no, this is not great at upper bass notes. People have no clue about how to tune it, how to align it, but this is actually very accurate. I was well surprised how nicely it blends to the front end, even if we crossed it high, even in this car. But in that Volkswagen, we crossed at 90 hertz. So the doors were not generating that much pressure, not making the doors move and buzz, but we got what we wanted from the mid bass. It was driving the rhythm in the system, giving the slap, and integrating to the large format mids pretty well, without buzzes.
However, this is
However.
much better.
So this is the solution where you have zero loss of energy when you have an enclosure for the driver. So we came up with this idea, and now let's see what we can show. That we have these shallow little boxes for these. Oh, jeez, it's difficult to show. This is where I will have to drop in a few pictures as well. So we have these Helix CI5 200 8-inch drivers, which perform pretty good. I can't complain about them. Yes, I'm not going to say that this is the most audiophile, most accurate bass that we ever achieved in a sound quality car, but it's more important for us to get controlled bass and tightness. These kick,
You
And-
do.
and they keep up with the system. Before we tuned it, and there was no EQ, nothing on the system, they peak hell of a lot in the cabin because of the environment. Between 100 and 150 hertz, that's such a big peak. They sound very boxy, but they give so much energy. If somebody's after like the ultimate craziness, then we were playing Blue Monday. We mentioned that song many times from New Order. It was actually kicking so hard it was moving my eyeballs, and that's very rare. We can get those levels without anything buzzing. That's another thing. And we are not running big amplifiers, we just have a P6. But the beauty of this driver is also that it can have two configurations. It can have single 2 ohm, which is this one we have, and there's a dual 2 ohm version as well. So you can even use
1 ohm mid bass, 1 kilowatt.
well, Helix designed it because you can wire it up now to 2 channels on a multi-channel amplifier if you have a V12 or a V18.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a dual voice core, you can use
Yes.
4 channels for the mid bass, and you will get
the high rating of power.
plenty of headroom. If that's not enough for somebody, then what's enough? But somebody was asking me, Pete, is it going to give enough output? And I'm like, well, output expectations are relative to everybody, each person, how much output they want. We can't predict it, we can't tell it until we meet the owners, and then we show them what systems we have, if they want more or less. Because I had somebody who even said to the Honda that, Pete, it sounds great, but I want it much louder. If somebody says that to the Honda, I know that that person is in a different category, which is called SPL. Because if anybody wants more for SQ than what the Honda does, yeah, those are serious levels.
Yeah.
So this solution, yes, it may look like it's not going to work because it's in a weird location, but people can have a look at the RTA evaluation. They can see what response you get with them. Yes, it's important to have a 4-inch mid-range because you will have to cross low to integrate them well, but they don't show their location. And even I have to go to the other side and show it on Eddie's side because that's going to be the stay there, Eddie. We will show it with your leg in place. We will need that torch there. Let me go to the other side. Because this is what people may worry about. So the seat is actually now quite further back than what Eddie's driving position would need because you are shorter. But even for you, if you have your foot on the footrest, the box is not in the way.
This would be my natural position, not like that.
Yeah, it's too wide. But it's not in the way. The driver is down there. But the funny thing is, we don't feel it on our legs.
Only if you do this.
Yeah, then you do. But otherwise, you don't feel it. And this way, because it's firing forward, it's not giving vibration to the seat either. You don't feel anything. It doesn't give you...
It's a separate structure.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works great. Yes, for ultimate competition, it's always better to have the bass driver up front in the kicks or firewall or somewhere where it integrates to the mid-range slightly better when it comes to positional tracks. But for daily systems, it's absolutely no problem. This is a million times better than any door build. People could have Audis and Thesis, Fokker Utopia or Accuton mid-bass, anything in a door, especially in a van door. I explained it in the Volkswagen as well. And it would be a big disappointment. Yeah.
Plus the time.
And
That's
the
why
time.
we stepped away from building those doors. Because that's the biggest advantage in the Transporter. It's relatively easy to take it apart.
Yeah, to
and
work on it.
On this one, this is the one with the rev nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because this week we had another small job, and on that one, on the Skoda, we could have taken the inner skin out. Yeah, but on this one, the inner skin has rib nuts all around that you have to drill out. Then you have to replace it with, rivets. Then you have to replace them with rib nuts, with bolts and everything. And that turns into a big job, and then the end result is still disappointing. So what's the point? We only soundproofed the door card, deadened it, soundproofed it, and the whole door feels just fine. But all those little things, if I can show it, you can see a small thin layer of carpet looking thing sticking out just a bit on the plastic edge. Unfortunately, you can't make it completely hidden because it's right on the edge, but we have a product.
I think you can see it better there.
Yeah. There you go. Just showing a touch. These are the areas where the plastic meets steel and hard surfaces, where things can buzz and rattle. And that's the actual little attention that we put into projects to make them rattle free. Because when the first, there you go, 8-inch driver. When first the car turned up and we shut the door, let's see if we can hear it. Like there's, inside it shows better when you are inside and you shut the door. There you go, Nicola, you're sitting there, shut your side. But before, the door was playing an extra half a second, like the door card and everything was buzzing. Now it feels like what it should be from factory, and honestly it doesn't add much more weight to it. Or, but hey ho, they have to build cars on budget, even if it's a 50 grand car, right? It is what it is. Last thing we have to mention from the car source. So we integrated the factory head unit only on speaker level because I'm not sure that this could have most integration. If it's the MBUX, maybe it has the coax from Mobridge, like we built the GLC last year for Eurofinals, maybe. But that's not straightforward. John, the owner of that GLC, had so much back and forth with Mobridge. Not every function was working. If people want quality playback, get an alternative source. So much easier these days. Get a second phone, a tablet, anything, and you can play lossless without any loss. Yeah, lossless without any loss. Now I explained it pretty well.
Yeah. English is my first language.
Exactly. So controller, we have the Helix conductor controlling the P6 Ultimate. Eddie designed that. You had quite a process with that. How many pieces did you print?
5. 5 or 6.
Yeah, to the time we got the right shape.
Yeah. So just so people understand, I didn't put that into the design. That was the original shape of the hole.
Yeah, we can see it on the other side.
It's like a cat.
Yeah,
Like a
Yeah, 2 years.
whatever.
But we wanted to make sure that the controller is accessible, because that's the worst thing when you have to lean away, when your focus is away from the road. Here you can easily reach it, and you can control it even without looking at it. That easy. That's one of the biggest reasons why Helix products with the small controller are just so great. Many manufacturers, DSP manufacturers, don't have a controller that can be installed easily. Audison has now a really neat controller similar to this. Actually, I prefer the design of that, because these LEDs are difficult to integrate into classy looking interiors, because this is fine in an interior like this, which is more up to date. But like in my S-Class or in some older cars, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't belong there. It doesn't look like that. Maybe they have a second variation of it in the future. That would be nice. But yeah, it works great. We can control everything. So there you go, Eddie. You can press it. First layer is volume. You press it one more time, becomes bass level, which is now turned down.
We don't need bass.
We don't need bass. Yeah. Then that's treble. Press and hold. You can jump between treble and the bass tone control, and then the last layer is presets. We have 2 presets where Nicola can change between pure rescue and a bit of madness. Simple as that. That easy. I may have to dim it down because it's a bit bright. So,
That's fine.
Another beautiful feature of this controller, actually the system finally went off, because that's the other thing, the system can come on with speaker level from the factory head unit, because we have no remote in the car as such, and without having a kill switch, at least this way. Actually, if I shut the door and open it again, the system is going to come on. But we can demonstrate, because now the car wakes up and the controller comes on. Simple as that. So as soon as the car goes to sleep, the system will go to sleep as well, automatically. Or if there's no signal after 45 seconds, it shuts down, because Helix also has a automatic signal detection and it goes to standby. So simple as this. 28 minutes of rumbling about this system.
It is falling asleep.
And he's falling asleep, and Nicola is going to tell us that, guys, this is not good enough, we have to rip it out.
Yeah, what am I doing here?
What
All
are
the
you
way
doing?
from Belgium.
I told you not last
Yeah.
week, 2 weeks ago. How can you trust us? Never seen us in person. Never heard any of our cars.
How can you trust anything you buy, right?
Yes.
You have to-
Online feedback.
Online.
Online feedback.
Yeah, because we don't have Google reviews.
Some.
Some, yeah,
You
We
do?
have, yeah.
Like 6 or 7.
We got amazing reviews last week as well. Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe I'll add
Or this
one
week. Yeah, there you go.
more. Yes.
So people of YouTube, now go on Google and review the company. 1 star.
1 star, exactly. PS Sound is the worst place.
You can't even
Give them ideas, Eddie. There you go. All the negative
That's
feedback
not
is
where your
included.
customers are coming from.
That's
So-
true. But some people look at it.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, how could Nicola trust us? We have over 400 videos on YouTube. We have close to 800 posts on Patreon. That back in the day you were following some of it, right?
Yeah.
So people get the idea. We have plenty of videos with owners as well. That's why we are shooting this as well, because this might be inspirational for other Mercedes Vito owners or anybody who's planning a system, a PS Sound style system.
I mean, you will surely get a system that you'll like. I mean, I've never heard anyone complain. I also am very happy with how it turned out. Had a little demo this morning.
And you're gonna have
It's
6
better.
hours to drive it today.
Better than expected. I can start listening and never leave the car again, right?
Well, you had a taste to what you would be getting when you drop the car off, because we had a meeting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
Uh,
but you know,
Yeah,
I said to him, I don't think I would do it. You know.
travel this far.
Yeah.
Although,
It's a big leap, yeah. It's
Yeah.
for sure. I was scared as hell when I came up.
You
to
are
the-
skeptical when you're coming.
Yeah, you are.
You must be.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are like, I'm gonna step in the car and I'm gonna see if I wasted my time and money. On
And you're-
something.
You are not that far. 6 hours.
Yeah,
It
it's
takes
okay.
longer to get to Scotland.
Yeah.
It's 6 hours.
also in Germany, it doesn't take you from one end to another.
No.
Or even-
no.
Even your country, back there, it takes longer to drive across the country.
Yes.
But I think for people, the frightening part is coming through the tunnel and then driving on the other side. That's the tricky part.
Yes. That's
I mean,
another
it's
thing.
dead easy to come here. It's very straightforward.
Yes, but many people who have never been to UK and driving in UK, they very, very worry.
Yeah.
The good thing is that we are 20 minutes away from New Haven, but there's a ferry port as well, and we had customers coming from France before, so they only had to follow me from the port to the workshop.
France, lately we had from Greece, which is not that close at all.
Yeah, that's the record so far, and we might have another one in January coming from Greece as well, from Athens. Yeah, that's a drive.
That's a big drive.
I think it's over 3,000
Yeah,
kilometers
that will for sure.
And
be-
2,000 miles.
And that's the thing. So those people come to us, have a listen, right? So they come to get a taste of PS sound. And guess what? Then they bring the cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things. It
And
says a lot.
that's why he trusted us as well.
Yeah.
That's why we share these videos, because, you know, even in 5, 10, 20 years time, if we share videos, it helps people to believe what they get. Yeah, well, like anything you buy, anything you spend big money on, you worry. Are you going to get
Yes.
what's going to keep you happy and smile?
Of course.
Let's put the grill back.
All right, we're going to finish this video here. Peter is going to wrap it up because it's long enough. In description, you will find the links to the PS Sound and Eddie's personal Patreon channel,
Only Fabs.
Only Fabs.
Only fabrication
Actually,
videos.
Actually, you could call it like that, because, yeah, OnlyFans, funnily, was originally designed for people like us using now Patreon, because OnlyFans turned into what it turned into, and that's why we don't have OnlyFans, because people would misunderstand it, where we wouldn't be able to run an OnlyFab channel.
I would subscribe Peter now.
Okay, fine. Fine. We might have different content there too. There you
No,
go.
it's
No.
only speakers and
You put the grill of the speaker.
You know, people like a bit of wiring porn, sub
Yeah.
porn.
it's a different type of
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
open the sub box. and stuff.
Unboxing videos. Yeah. We don't have time for that, but we could run a channel just for that. True. It's true. Many people have weird fetish. Car audio people like speakers, amps. Yeah. And then that's why we will have a separate demo video of this car as well. I will record a few videos just for inspiration. As I always say, don't try to use it as reference. I will record a few songs for inspiration, also to hear some few new songs. And yeah, we have regular meetings, so check out the PS Sound Facebook page as well, because over there we have an event section. We have a meeting on the 28th of December, I gotta mention at the end of the video, where we will have many people coming to Brighton Marina. It's a great day, all day event from 9 till usually 6 o'clock, then we go for dinner as well, so it's worth checking out. The rest is gonna be in description. So yeah, we will see you in the next one. And we will see probably Nicola, I don't know when, maybe
Maybe
some point.
28.
Maybe at some point in the future. All right, so this is it for this one. Feel free to share it, comment, do what you want. Eddie, subscribe, right? That's what I would say.
Subscribe now.
Subscribe now. And we'll see you soon in the next one. Take care.